This first training is all about positioning your web design business and choosing a niche, which will make it easier for you to find new clients and make money. Choosing a good niche is probably the most important decision you will ever make in your business, which is crazy because a lot of designers never even consider this when they're getting started. So in this free training, I'm going to walk you through the entire process. I'm going to show you all the different ways that you can niche down. I'm going to show you a ton of different examples that you can copy. And by the end of the training, you should be able to pick the perfect niche for your business. But quickly, before we dive into the training, I just wanted to mention that this training is usually only available inside my paid community, Paid Pro. This is just one of over 30 exclusive trainings that you get inside the community. And right now we're doing a huge enrollment discount and just opened up lifetime deals for those of you that hate subscriptions. So I hope that if you get some value from this free training, you'll go to paidpro.com to see what else you get by joining. All right, let's get into it. Position, niche, and direction. So this first lesson is going to be really essential in setting up your business in a way that it can actually succeed. So much of finding clients and how much you can charge and just being profitable on a consistent basis has to do with the way that you position your business. And if you position it correctly, you're going to have some great direction, which is going to allow you to build up momentum. You're going to know who you're serving. You're going to know how much you should charge for your services. You're going to know how to more quickly and effectively complete your projects. And all of this is going to roll into you having a successful business, because the last thing that you want to do is be going month to month, suffering and having a hard time finding new clients, okay? So first, I wanna talk about having a niche, and then I'm gonna give you a few examples of what this might look like for your business. Now, having a niche makes running your business easier in pretty much every single way. Having a niche means that you serve a specific type of person or a specific client. And this means that your marketing is going to be more effective because you know exactly who you're talking to. This also means that it's going to be much easier to find clients because you're going to know who to look for, you're going to know how to speak to them, and you're going to understand better what their needs and desires are. If you don't serve a specific type of person, it's going to change every single time. And this means no consistency in how you find people and how you interact with them, which is basically just going to make it a guessing game all the time. So once you get on the phone with these prospects, it's going to be much easier to close them because they're going to revere you as an expert. Because of that, you're going to be able to charge way more than you would just as a standard web designer. And as you serve the same type of person over and over again, it's going to allow you to streamline your workflow. And you're going to have so many aspects of that workflow that are reusable. You're going to have templates and different assets that you can continue to recycle. And over time, your process and the results that you get for your clients are going to become much better. And the last and possibly most important part of all of this is your chances of getting referred by clients is going to increase dramatically because people often surround themselves with people that are similar to themselves. So this means if you're serving a specific type of prospect, they likely have friends and family and coworkers that also have a need for your services. So having a niche is essential to your success, but this is really important. Having a niche does not mean that you work within one specific industry. Only serving clients within one industry is only one way that you can niche down. There are actually several other ways that you can niche down as well that are going to give you more freedom and will help you better find something that fits your skill set and what you want to do. So aside from niching down by industry, you can also niche down by the type of business that you serve. This can mean B2B, B2C, SaaS, local businesses. Choosing a specific business type can be just enough of a niche to make your life way easier. You can also niche down by platform or tool. So maybe you only work in WordPress or Webflow or Framer or Figma. If you choose a popular enough tool, there are tons of prospects that are looking specifically for somebody that specializes in those tools. The fourth way that you can niche down is by location. And this is one of the best ways to get your business started. So you can either choose the city in which you currently live, or you can choose a location that you feel is underserved. If you serve a specific location, you are going to end up working with lots of different types of businesses, but having the same location in common, that's what's going to tie all of those businesses together. And it's going to make it much easier for you to grow within within that geographical area. And the final way that you can niche down is by solution. So you have a very specific solution that only you can solve, and that's going to dictate the type of prospects that you reach out to. It's going to dictate your marketing, and you're going to become very specialized within that single solution. And I'm going to give you examples on all of these so you can see exactly what they look like. So now what I want to do is give you examples of what each of these different niche types looks like. And hopefully these examples will serve as some good inspiration for how you want to set up your own business. So the first one that we mentioned was niching down by industry. So this is going to look something like one of these examples. You can serve the solar industry, the real estate industry, the fitness industry. You can serve dentists. You can serve ear, nose, and throat clinics. You can serve pest control companies. Choosing just one industry is going to allow you to build a network within that industry. So if you want to choose a specific industry to serve, I would recommend looking back into your past and seeing if there's any industry that you have experience in, maybe a specific industry that you already have a lot of connections in, or at the very least, you want to choose an industry that's not overserved or oversaturated. There are so many different industries out there. So the last thing that you want to do is automatically choose dentists or chiropractors, because those seem like the industries that get oversaturated. So take time to do research and find an industry that has a lot of upside, a lot of potential, and preferably industries that have bigger budgets. The next example is niching down by business type. So like I mentioned before, this can be business to business, business to consumer. This can be SaaS companies, which is software as a service. This can be new startups. This can be local businesses. And if you serve this type of niche, your website is going to look something like one of these. Within your messaging, within your main headline and your offer, you're going to talk directly to the owners of those types of businesses. Now, niching down this way might still seem fairly broad, but I promise you, just getting a little more specific on who it is that you serve is actually going to make converting these people into clients much, much easier. The next is niching down by platform or tool. So you've probably seen a lot of designers that do this, and it looks something like this. You could be a WordPress web designer. You could work exclusively in WordPress, in Webflow, or you could choose some less popular tools like Kajabi. There are actually lots of designers that niche down within a specific tool, and it doesn't even have to be a traditional web design tool. It could be a course builder, it could be a funnel builder. Just make sure that that tool has a wide enough audience and user base that you have a sizable pool of potential clients. Now, if you're considering niching down by a tool, I would of course recommend that you pick a tool that you're already proficient at. Being a specialist in a specific tool like Webflow, for example, is going to make it much easier for you to get in front of the right types of clients. And all of the marketing that you do, all of the content that you create should revolve around Webflow or whatever tool it is that you're using. So the next example is niching down by location. And this one is fairly obvious. There are a lot of different benefits to niching down by a specific location, but probably the biggest is the potential to rank locally. This is why I always say local is the best way to start your business, because there's less competition. And in most places, it's fairly easy to start ranking on the local map pack and even in the organic results. All you have to do is use location-specific keywords and a little bit of SEO, and it's actually pretty easy to get people to your website. And the final example is niching down by solution. So a few examples of a solution could be WordPress maintenance, it could be Figma to Framer, it could be Webflow migrations. Just offering a very niche and specific solution is going to make you the obvious choice when somebody lands on your website and that's what they're looking for. So these are your options when choosing a niche. You don't necessarily just have to choose one. Maybe you find a mix of multiple. It could be a mix of location and tool or business type and solution, but find something that has a large enough pool of potential prospects but also isn't oversaturated. You don't want to have a ton of competition. You don't want to have a ton of competition. You want to be one of the few that offers what you offer, and so when people land on your site, they immediately say, this is the perfect solution for me. Now, the final thing that I'll mention is I know it can feel scary niching down, especially early on. You might have this feeling that if I choose a specific niche and my website talks all about that niche, if there's somebody that falls outside of that, they're not going to want to hire me. And that's a very valid concern, but I can promise you that by niching down, you're going to gain way more new clients than you're going to lose. And just because you're focusing on a specific niche doesn't mean that you can't say yes to other projects. Especially early on, sometimes you just need a few projects under your belt in order to pick up some of that momentum. Now, if you're in a position where you feel like none of these niches make sense to you, you might just have to get started any way you can. Maybe you focus locally for now, but you say yes to every project and you wait to see what industry or niche or tool calls to you. And over time, you're going to evolve into the right niche. But the most important thing that you can take from this lesson is if your website and your messaging is just, I'm a general web designer, it's going to be really difficult for you to find clients. So find some way to double down, get specific, have some type of niche, and then let everything you do within your business revolve around that niche. So I want to end this lesson with a few action items. Number one, research and identify a few potential niches for you. Again, this might require you to think back to past jobs and past connections to try to find something that might be a good fit for you. To help with this, we have a free resource inside your dashboard called the Profitable Niches List. And this is something that we update pretty frequently just to spark some ideas for you when you're choosing a niche. And the second action item is once you've selected a niche, do everything possible to find clients within that niche. In the fourth lesson of this series and in lots of other trainings inside your dashboard, we give very specific ideas and strategies on how to find clients. But sometimes getting those first few clients requires you to get down and dirty. You've got to open your mouth. You've got to make those calls. Do anything possible to land those first clients. If you can just get a few niche specific projects behind you, you're going to be ahead of 99% of other designers. So there are 3 more trainings that go with this particular series and tons of other trainings and resources that you can get inside Pape Pro. So if you want to check out more, just go to papepro.com and I hope to see you inside.